rules for May the 25th, 2023. A roll call, please.
Mallard.
Here.
Burrell.
Here.
Farrell.
Here.
Clapper.
Here.
And Throckmorton.
Here.
Okay. We have a set of minutes to be approved from April the 20th, 2023. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve minutes of April 20th, 2023.
Have a second?
Second that.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, can we have a vote, please?
Burrell.
Yes.
Farrell. Clapper.
Yes.
Throckmorton.
Yes.
Ballard.
Yes.
Okay, reports, resolutions, and communications?
We don't have any.
Okay, thank you. So, this evening, we have one petition which is continued to the June 22nd meeting. That is AA-17-22, Joe Kemp Construction LLC and Blackwell Construction, Inc. Our petition tonight, which we will be hearing, is petition V-17-23, True Storage LLC. Can we please have the staff report?
Okay, this is for, sorry, one second. Oh yes, Karina Pasos, zoning planner, and sorry, I'm having technical difficulties right now. Okay. This property is currently zoned mixed-use, medium-scale, MM, and is located on the west side of South Liberty Drive. The properties to the east and south are also zoned MM. The properties west are zoned residential high-density multifamily, and the properties to the north are outside the city's jurisdiction. Gosh, why is this? Okay, there we go. Okay, so currently the property contains the Coca-Cola distribution center, a one-story metal and brick building with an area of 59,275 square feet and 46 parking spaces. The petitioner will need to seek a major site plan approval for this change in use because the development is located within 500 feet of the center line of I-69. The existing building will be remodeled to add a mezzanine level with interior storage units on both levels, access from interior hallways, and the petitioner plans to file for the July 10th Plan Commission hearing. The petitioner is requesting variances from mixed-use medium-scale zoning district ground floor ceiling height standard and maximum parking standard for a self-service storage use. The first variance is from the ground floor ceiling height standard that requires a minimum floor to ceiling height on the ground floor of 12 feet when a non-residential use is proposed on the ground floor. The proposed development would add an interior second level, resulting in ground floor to ceiling height of 9 feet 4 inches. And the second variance is from the maximum vehicle parking space allowance standards to allow for 10 standard parking spaces with 1 ADA van accessible parking space. The maximum vehicle parking requirement for a self-service storage use is 2.85 spaces per 1,000 square feet of gross floor area of indoor sales, leasing, or office space. The proposed self-service storage facility has 695 square feet of office and leasing space, so this development has a vehicle parking allowance of 1 parking space. The site currently has 46 parking spaces and the petitioner is proposing to remove 35 parking spaces. So all of the parking spaces in the front of the building will be removed to meet the front parking setback, and then 14 of the parking spaces near the eastern property line will also be removed. So both removals will reduce the impervious surface area below the maximum of 60% for this zoning district. So the first piece of criteria for the ground floor variance, the proposed finding is that the granting of the variance to allow for a ground floor ceiling height of 9 feet 4 inches is not expected to be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, or general welfare of the community. The ground floor ceiling height standard was intended for commercial uses. The self-service storage use is considered an employment use. The second proposed finding is adverse impacts to the use and value of surrounding properties is not found as a result of the variance to allow for a ground floor ceiling height of 9 feet 4 inches. This will be an interior addition of a second level that will not impact the exterior of the building, and there are no proposed changes to the exterior of the property besides bringing the site closer to compliance with current standards that would improve the site's landscaping and pervious surface coverage. And the last piece of criteria for the first variance, the proposed finding is that practical difficulty is found in the use of the property if this variance is not granted, because the use-specific standards for self-service storage requires that all storage is contained within a fully enclosed structure that is at least 2 stories. This project is attempting to reuse and remodel an existing building that has an existing height to work within. So adding a second level that creates a ground floor ceiling height of 9 feet 4 inches will allow the existing, the existing building to be remodeled such that this use can go in there. For the second variance, for the parking maximum, the first proposed finding is that the granting of the variance to allow 11 parking spaces is not expected to be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, or general welfare of the community, since the number of proposed vehicle parking spaces is less than what is existing, and the proposal involves removal of excess asphalt to reduce the impervious surface coverage of the lot. The second proposed finding is that the granting of the variance to allow 11 parking spaces would not affect the use and value of adjacent properties in an adverse manner, because the number of proposed vehicle parking spaces is less than what is existing, and the proposal also removes involves removal of excess impervious surface coverage. And the last proposed finding is that the department does find that the strict application of the terms of the UDO will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property by requiring the petitioner to meet the maximum parking spaces allowed. The existing size and layout of the parcel are such that shared parking opportunities are limited. Additionally, the redevelopment of the parcel will remove existing excess parking, and the site is also limited by the fact that there is no on-street parking available. So the issuance of the variance relieves the practical difficulty of operating this permitted use in this existing building. So based upon the report and written findings of fact above, the department recommends that the Board of Zoning Appeals adopts the proposed findings and approve both requested variances for V-17-23 with the following conditions. 1, the variance for ceiling height is for, at a minimum, the heights shown in the plan submitted with the variance request. And 2, the variance for parking spaces is approved for a total of 11 parking spaces, including 1 accessible parking space. Thanks.
Thank you. The petitioner's representative, you could go to the podium, please. And please tell us your name, and I will swear you in.
My name is Mike Carmen.
Do you swear to or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
You have up to 20 minutes. Thanks.
Again, my name is Mike Carmen, an attorney representing the petitioner applicant, True Storage. Andy Knust is with Bledco Bledsoe, Rigger, Cooper, and James is an engineer. He's been heavily involved in the interior design issue, the ceiling heights, along with others in his office, and a lot of the site plan issues. On Zoom, and I'll be deferring to him in a few moments for some comments also, is Representative True Storage, Josh Sullivan. And he should be, you see him on Zoom? Okay, we'll get to him in just a couple minutes then. Just a couple comments. You know, typically in a variance like this, would look at other conditions of approval more than what the staff has listed. And those things I would expect you might be concerned about or would like to see as condition approvals are ongoing site plan issues, the green space, getting rid of the excess paving, getting rid of the excess parking. Actually, there's some issues about the driveway access off of Liberty Drive. All those issues, I'm not offering those as condition approval because all those issues are actually being dealt with, will be dealt with the Plan Commission, because that will be the site plan approval that's required. And Andy's been heavily involved in all those things, and it is taking off a lot of existing paving. If you remember the old Coke building used to that, and they had a lot of outside exterior parking. And this use doesn't need that much, but it needs more than one. If you, in the staff report, I mean, they calculate it as one allowed parking space. And that's because the storage units aren't deemed leasing. It talks about 1 per 1,000 square feet of office/leasing. You know, my first thought, well, storage units are rented, that's leasing. That's not the leasing that's intended by the ordinance. So none of that area counts. And these self-storage units more and more they're electronic now. I mean, access, codes and fobs, and you don't have on-site personnel and on-site managers there. We don't need a lot of office space. It's more the unit. So but there is a need for parking. And the comment in the staff report about no spillover parking type is the problem. We can't invest in the remodel of the building and that and doing what he's been doing without being able to get a return on that. The return means our customers, our renters, need to be able to access the property. There is no place to go. There's no parking garage. There's no street parking. There's no opportunity for spillover parking. We have to be able to develop with, unfortunately, the occasional but yet peak parking time of when multiple people there at the same time. And we don't have the means to spread them out. So you can only come between 8 and 9 in the morning. You're between 9 and 10. They're going to come when they come, when they're, and so the studies have shown on other facilities that there are those times when the traffic that is expected to generate should anticipate that a certain number will be there at the same time or within an hour of that, meaning the same time. None of the needed parking is storage parking. This is not overnight parking. It's there short time to put things in or remove things from the storage and depart. But we need to have enough spaces to allow that possibility that will occur from time to time of multiple renters, users of the storage space being out there at the same time. And that's the request for the 10 parking spaces. The one, I don't know how you could do any facility like this on one parking space. And that's the problem with trying to do an ordinance. Maybe that's an issue that needs to be examined another day, like I know you've encouraged that on some other parking issues, restaurants and things. So perhaps this is one of those too. But so the need for the parking is exactly that. We're trying to make use of the existing building, renovate it, model it, think it's a good thing to do. True Storage actually has experience in doing this very type of project in a number of places. So I'm going to defer now to Josh Sullivan, representative of True Storage. When he is done with his comments, I'll come back up to wrap up then.
Mr. Sullivan?
Hello, can everyone hear me?
Yes, could you please state your name for the record?
Yes, Josh Sullivan.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, I would show my camera screen, but it's not allowing me at the moment. But Mike put it perfectly as well did the staff report. We specialize in these facilities. We just opened up our 22nd facility. Although we are based in New Hampshire, we have facilities all across the eastern United States. One as close as Lafayette, Indiana, as well as a number in Michigan and Ohio as well. And like Mike stated, we've done this type of construction in terms of adding a second level with a, when a facility allows for a very high ceiling height to do that. We added Dick's Sporting Goods in nearby Akron, Ohio, where we had about 19 feet of total ceiling height. So we were able to put a second level on there, and each floor is about 9 feet. As well as in Syracuse, New York, we're finishing up a project right now doing the exact same thing. So each market and facility is different, but we do a pretty in-depth analysis on how much pent-up demand there is for self-storage, and how much net rentable square feet we need to satisfy that demand. So in our analysis from this facility, and given the constraints of the property itself, we felt we needed to add that second level in order to create a feasible facility. Again, that we've done many times, and are confident that it won't pose any issues. And the parking, very straightforward. We just want to have adequate parking for our customers at a certain time. Like Mike mentioned, we have very deep insight into our customers' habits. Every customer, once they lease a unit from us, they get a specific PIN code for every time they access the building during certain hours. So we're able to track, exactly how many people are in and out of our facilities. And when looking at our existing facilities that have been open and operational of similar size, that's the amount of parking that we'll require, again, at the highest peak time, but we would like to be prepared for that. So happy to answer any questions if there are, any from the operations, but, looking forward to moving forward and, adding a facility in Bloomington. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Do you have any?
Andy Knust is here also to, depending on what questions you may have, I'm going to defer to Josh or to Andy, or it may be something handled, more likely it'll be one of them.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so we are to the board for any questions of staff or petitioner? No? Anybody? No? No? Okay, then we are to the public. Is there anybody here or online this evening who would like to speak to this petition? Nobody? Okay, so then we are back to the petitioners once again, if there's any further comments. Okay, then we're back to the board for action.
Get the discussion started by making a motion for the approval of V-17-23 with the following conditions, worded slightly different. The variance for ceiling heights is for, at a minimum, the height shown in the plan submitted with the variance request. And 2, the variance for parking spaces is approved for a total of 11 parking spaces, one of which shall be an accessible parking space.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second that.
Any discussion? Okay, so we're ready for a vote.
Clapper.
Yes.
Throckmorton.
Yes.
Ballard.
Yes.
Burrell.
Yes.
Okay, the variances are approved. Good luck. Thank you, and we are adjourned. Thanks.